Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Bosscoin YouTube channel. I'm Boss, and I'm here with Tails, and today we're going to be talking about what I think is some of the most shocking news to hit cryptocurrency this year, and especially in cryptocurrency mining, and that would be that Siacoin has officially announced that they're going to be bricking, aka making several $1 million of cryptocurrency ASIC mining hardware that was designed specifically to mine their cryptocurrency obsolete in order to preserve the ASIC mining hardware that they created that was unprofitable because competitors made hardware that was more effective than theirs, and now they're going to obsolete that hardware with this fork and make it so only their less powerful hardware can mine their cryptocurrency. So pretty crazy stuff. Let's dive into it. After several delays, these are what the Obelisk ASIC miners look like in the flesh. Here you go. They do exist, and quite honestly, they are the coolest looking ASIC miner I've ever seen. And we're gonna have reviews up on those over the next month, so make sure to hit that subscribe button on the Bosscoin YouTube channel. Stick with me and stay up to date on all things cryptocurrency. If you want to support the channel and get something in exchange for doing that, because well, this video is not sponsored and I gotta pay the bills somehow, grab a t-shirt and support the mission and get some cool gear along the way. This design is only going to be available for the month of October. If you're unfamiliar with Obelisk, basically Nebulous and Obelisk are two different businesses, but they are joined at the hip because they fund Siacoin, okay? And the people involved in one are essentially all involved in the other. They shilled the concept of ASIC mining.
On June 22nd, 2017, David Borick announced why they chose to make the ASIC miners, aka Obelisk, for the Siacoin network. And they went on and on about how ASICs are the right move and GPU miners just hop around for profitability.
They set out to create ASIC miners. They've hit a ton of road bumps. Bitmain beat them to the punch. If you actually have followed the channel, you know that we actually covered this when it all went down in January. And investing in Siacoin, what you need to know, the A3, talking about the Obelisk. I show my A3 mining here when it just arrived. That was actually my first live stream off my phone, if anyone cared at all.
I have my exhaust fans off, so this noise is almost primarily these two amp miners. They are so loud.
The first day I had this thing, it was projected to make $500. It actually ended up to, I guess it was projected to be making 800 USD per day per the calculator. I actually ended up making about 400 bucks that day, but there's some good content, you know, from point of view exactly as it was all going down if you want to check out these videos. The short version is just that they received millions of dollars in funding to create their own ASIC miners. They said ASIC mining was the way to go and GPU mining was not the correct option. Okay, so all that took place, and then Bitmain announced that they were going to release the Antminer A3, a Blake2b, aka the Siacoin mining algorithm miner. They announced about 10 days before they started shipping, and this was in January, a half a year prior to the Obelisk's projected ship date. And then also a couple months later, Silicon released their Blake2b miners, basically again just for Siacoin, and they vastly outperform the Antminer A3, so then they began to dominate the network, and that is the machine that really made the Antminer A3 and the Obelisk Siacoin SC1 Obelisk miner pretty much useless. Obelisk had 5 funding rounds, as you can see here, or I shouldn't say funding rounds, batches. They had 5 batches, and the last one, the A3, had been announced, so like naturally you can guess they really didn't sell any of these. 5 people were crazy and for some reason bought one for science maybe. But so they used this to raise millions of dollars to create these miners and actually bring them to market. And they built a kill switch into the machine, a backdoor kill switch to invalidate any competitor hardware. Pretty interesting when you say that you don't know, you never knew that these other manufacturers were bringing these miners to market, yet you planned for it. Are you smart there? Is this centralized? Should we applaud them for being so clever and canny? Or is this like, wow, it sounds like one of the most centralized cryptocurrencies I've ever heard of? I don't know. Again, not to keep referencing these videos, but just to sum it up, I was against the fork, and it wasn't because I bought an A3. I think it's very centralized.
Bitmain crashed your party with ASICs, and now you don't like that they brought ASICs to your party. It doesn't work like that. If you fork the A3s off of your network, you are centralized. I'm not mad if you do that. I get it. But don't act like it's some heroic move. It's a money move. And everything's business, so I get that. But don't act like a hero when you're not one. Okay? So that's my 2 cents here.
You wanted to tote ASIC mining, and then someone beats you to market, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm gonna use my kill switch. And David Vorik, if you've never followed him or any of his stuff, he's a very outspoken man. And if you guys actually want, I may have the opportunity to bring him on to interview on the channel, and he's actually one of the few people I'd actually like to interview. You guys may notice I don't really do many interviews because a lot of people, they'll come on channels and you can probably think of a couple people, they'll come on every single channel and interview and just show the same bullshit every time. Dude, I don't care about you saying the same bullshit you said in 5 other interviews. If you want to do like more or less a almost exclusive interview and we can keep it real and we can talk some real stuff, that's super interesting to me. And I hope it's super interesting to you as well. So forgive me, I got a little off topic there. They have this kill switch, okay? And this is a pretty big deal. Like, you're gonna make millions of dollars of hardware useless. That's it's interesting and exciting. Whether or not you like Siacoin, you like Obelisk, you probably don't like Bitmain. I have to applaud them. I mean, this is one of the this may be the biggest blow to Bitmain anyone has ever done. And I'm not saying this is the right move, but it's absolutely interesting. I'm gonna have links to everything I'm talking about here in this video, in the video description below. So make sure to check that out, click through them, read them all. This is a very long, in-depth article. It's a lot to digest. But it begins by basically saying that a lot of people didn't want to fork, and everybody was pretty vocal about it. And there's also the claims of being centralized. Let's search up that keyword. And not to pick apart what the guy said, but let's look at this. And while a perfectly decentralized system only exists in theory, we strive to make Sia as decentralized as possible, right? But let's search the word monopoly. Overall, we are sad that things have come to a point where we need to take action to reject an existing ASIC monopoly. And then he says, for a new product that is going to obsolete all existing hardware and become the new monopoly. I mean, like, I get it. I guess, why wouldn't you want to be the monopoly? You know, there's money to be made. I mean, I'd rather be the monopoly than have Bitmain be the monopoly. I get it, but are you really a cryptocurrency then? Are you really decentralized? Like, you're obviously a blockchain project. No one can take that away from you, but it's pretty controversial. I'm telling you guys, I'm excited to read this and cover this because I really want to hear all of your thoughts in the video comments below. And someone has actually stepped up to donate some Siacoin, so drop your Siacoin address down there if you want some. But focus, man, drop that address in the video comments and let's get back to the video. David brings up ASIC monopoly versus GPU mining. He says, I've spoken about this at length in my other posts. However, he believes that an ASIC manufacturer monopoly is strongly preferable to being a GPU mined coin. And it says, it's in his words, but he really speaks as Siacoin. When you're operating, you know, from this position, it's your words, but it's really going to be projected from the mouth of Siacoin. So just keep all that stuff in mind. A previously GPU mineable coin, but it was with dual mining, and I really just think that was a stupid choice to begin with. No offense, but I guess I'm offensive, so whatever, I don't care. Everyone's so hypersensitive in 2018. But again, all sensitivity stuff aside, what we've got here is, to the best of his knowledge, no ASIC mined coin has ever been hit by a 51% attack. And yet something like a dozen different GPU mined coins have been hit by 51% attacks. Well, let's talk about that real quick because I really want to address that. If you get 51% attack because you're piggybacking on a bigger project than you and there's just all that available hash, they can come get you real easy. Well, I mean, quite honestly, you're a pretty dumb project and you kind of deserved what you got. Maybe you should have made your own algorithm. There's plenty of plenty of options, like for example, Pigeon Coin, how they made their alteration to Raven Coin's X16R algorithm to their X16S by just changing the order. What a great simple way that a non-programmer was able to adjust that algorithm and then not have that same vulnerability. Also, just to continue my rant just one step further, is I want to address the fact that, I mean, I'm not just like a huge conspiracy theorist, but don't be so naive that you cannot think that some of these bigger ASIC parties and essentially all those who stand to benefit from ASIC mining and that whole direction would not specifically target these coins that are exploitable and exploit them to make their case. If I was Bitmain, why wouldn't I attack every GPU mineable coin? Because then people are going to be more in favor of ASIC mining. You know, that thing I produce. Yeah, so just some things to keep in mind. Don't be just so naive that like you're going to support ASIC miner because of 51% attacks. Well, what if it's those companies that are pulling the wool over your eyes? Again, I mean, that's why it's the boss coin. That's why the logo is the wolf. That's why we got tails. That's why, you know, I refer to you guys as the wolf pack. And when you come in the Discord, it's called the wolf's den, because we're not sheep here and we try to look through this bullshit and to see the big picture, to see what's going on behind the scenes, to not be blind to these massive mining farms that are abusing the mining ecosystem, or maybe the secret miners out there, which is a whole topic on itself. But let's get back to the topic at hand. I'm pretty fired up today. You know, it's a good day. It's a good day. So I wanted to bring up this post. This is just from one community member. I just want to give you guys a little scope inside to some of the community. Obviously, some people are happy that this is happening, mainly all of the Obelisk miner buyers, and some people are not. Maybe they own the Silicon hardware like this guy. Maybe they're just butthurt. I don't know. But what I do know is that this guy's pretty upset. The devs have hijacked the initial community proposal and replaced it with a massive conflict of interest, which is ineffective when considering very simple future scenarios. So he talks about some stuff that he doesn't like. I have this link in the description. He misspelled Boric, but it's just a letter, so give him a break. And he discloses he's an owner of S11 units and will be going to court over this. I mean, I do want to say, what's your name, buddy? 5 years HTML. I want to say, my man, you bought ASIC miners. You're at risk of being burned at any single point in time. So I would not waste anyone's time by going to court. I thought this guy had a pretty powerful post, so let's read it. Sama Paratio, let's give it a thumbs up for just adding some good content here to their toxic subreddit. I think Reddit's pretty toxic overall. No offense to any Redditors out there that support the Siacoin mission. You're awesome. But I'm just saying. But basically he's saying if David would focus on the actual adoption of Siacoin and not just this whole mining debacle, then they'd probably be in a better place. I didn't fact check this, but let's just assume it's right. The used storage has gone up by about 110 terabytes in 1 year, or 20 hard drives, which that's insane. Like, that's nothing, absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things for a cryptocurrency. Then let's check their market cap right now. We're gonna go ahead and put an SC for Siacoin, and this would be the 37th biggest cryptocurrency by market cap in the world. Okay, so this is ranked number 37, and their project has made no forward progress in their actual adoption and just people actually using it. I'm not saying that they haven't done anything. It's not a dig like that. It's not an insult. And I clicked on the wrong page, but we're back over here. So he made these bullet points. Sia is wasting its time building its own cryptocurrency instead of a token, building ASICs, upgrading from GPU to ASIC mining. Love that one. If they really wanted to be interesting back then, I think they should have forked to some kind of ASIC resistant GPU mining algorithm, or to go to CPU mining, or go to hard drive mining, or go to anything but, you know, let's make our own ASIC monopoly. Again, that's my opinion. I'm looking forward to hearing yours. Shutting off other ASIC miners, and he says that they are ignoring huge adoption issues, which is reference software that is broken and unusable, prerequisites about file size and not being able to trust it for critical files, etc., show a lack of understanding of the target market, and dev implementations built on top of Sia are mostly toy projects with very low levels of maturity. This is a guy who says right here, I care about the project, I just hate to see it go to waste with poor decisions. Again, anybody can say that, but a lot of people won't say that because a lot of people just want to run around the internet and trash stuff. Don't look at me. I'm not that guy. But if we take this from the lens of a concerned community member, well, it's pretty concerning. So that's really summing up what's going on here. This fork is going to take place by the end of the month. I believe it is scheduled for October 31st. And if we look at that, man, it's like I did my research or something. I'm looking at you, BCI. But essentially what you need to know is that, you know, there's gonna be a fork, and then after the fork, all of your old coins are still gonna be valid on the new chain, and then all of the coins generated after that fork on the main blockchain are gonna be only valid, you know, obviously on that chain. That is the true chain maintained by Nebulous, and well, that's their project, Decentralized. And at that point, their Obelisk miners will be profitable because they'll be the only miners capable of mining on their network. So that really sums it up. I think, honestly, this has been pretty exciting news. Whether you agree with this or disagree with it, I think it's exciting. You know, it's nice to have something exciting. I think lately the market as a whole has just been not very exciting, especially on the mining front. It really has been bad news after bad news. And in a Blake2b unprofitable ASIC mining market, the fact that this ASIC mining market will now be profitable for at least these Obelisk miners, you know, can be taken as a victory for mining, more or less. A big punch to Bitmain and InnoSilicon from a US based smaller operation is definitely applaudable. If this is super centralized, you know, that's certainly here up for debate. And most people are going to probably lean towards that being the answer. Very true. The kill switch that they implemented was a very interesting tactic. And as always, David Vorik is super outspoken. And let me know if you actually want him here on the channel. So again, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Drop that Siacoin address. Tailscoin with it for bonus points. Let me know if you want to see David Vorik interviewed here on the channel. So if I should spend some time trying to make that happen for you, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to Siacoin, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.